Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea and Banter with me. It's Mary Elizabeth.
And Felicia.
So, I know it's a little late, but we decided to do our 10 favorite books of 2023. Now, we each did it a little differently. Felicia did top 10.
I did.
Right? I did my 10 favorite books, but I kind of just broke it down into whether they were mystery, classics, romance, but I didn't do an order of favoritism. They're just my favorites of the year. So, and then also 3 of the books, I believe we have the same.
I think so.
You think so? Yeah. So, we'll talk about that together then, those 3 books. And if I'm correct, I think those 3 books came from our book buddy reading, if I'm right on those 3 books. So, which is really cool. And then just to be aware, I did take some notes and have my reading journal and my book buddy journal just in case I get a little stuck on sharing information about the book, then I'll refer back to these. So just so you know what I'm doing. And what...
Freya, stop! Oh, sorry, the cat.
I have a blanket on my desk chair.
She's gonna get buried. She's gonna get buried!
And she knocked down. Oh, she was trying to get up on the chair, but in between the blankets. And it just fell on her. So, yeah. But now she's just going to lay on the blankets.
No, she's gonna sniff it because she doesn't understand why
she's
you
trying to get under it. Anyway. My girl. I have a Maine Coon cat. Her name's Freya. And she's beautiful, but...
And she has issues.
She's a little feisty, yes. Oh, I wish I could
She
film it
makes
now.
Lucifer and Cinderella look like an angel.
But I love her.
I love her too, but I'm just saying. She's kind of demonic.
Okay. So, we're moving along. So, do we want to, why don't you do one and I'll do one?
Okay.
And we'll go that way, okay?
So my number 10 spot is the sweetness at the bottom of the pie. I really enjoyed this. I think I just enjoyed her.
And
I
what
loved
is,
the little girl very much.
and what is it? It's a mystery.
It is a murder mystery set in the 1950s.
Okay.
And she lives in this mansion at Buckshire. And she's like an aspiring chemist with a passion for poisons. And
Okay,
she loves
yes.
she's so intelligent, and she comes across this mystery because someone dies in her yard or gets killed in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just so clever, and, she takes her bike everywhere. She goes to the library all the time, and I used to do that when I was a kid. I took my bike and I rode around for a while, and then the library was right down the street, so
Right.
I related to, oh, she's doing what I used to do. So I liked her a lot, and this book was just so interesting to me. And even though it's number 10, it's a 5-star, and I would continue this if I could find more.
And I need to
It's really, really good.
probably give it another try. I
And
ended
yes,
up...
the siblings fight and they argue, and yes, I know you had a hard time with that, but that's normal. Like,
No.
for siblings,
No.
not to you.
No.
Not
That was
to you.
not normal.
That was normal.
That was not normal. Tying
That
your
was,
sister
yeah.
up and
What do you think I used to
gagging
go
her.
to Joey?
You never did that. You tried to make
I
him
shoved
into
him in
a
a
dog.
closet,
You
and I
tried-
did. I succeeded.
You-
But that's not the point.
We're gonna move on.
You made me change him back, which was horrible because it worked so well, and we were happy.
All right. So anyway,
But it's so different than the way we are together now. It's love.
oh, it's love, all right.
But it's not, it's weird to you. But it's love to us. Like, if somebody else tried to say or do what I do to him and say to him, we're fighting. He's my brother. And I know he won't admit this, but it's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
There's the difference. difference. That's what you're not seeing because you didn't have that.
But they didn't do that for her.
What are you talking about? The minute they found her in the hole, she was all lovey-dovey, crying, thought she died. That's what you're not getting. You're taking it as it's bad.
I'm moving on.
Because you just didn't experience this.
I'm moving on.
You
Like I said, I need to give it another try.
you really do.
I do.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You give this another go, and I'll give Emma a reread. That pained me to say, but I will do that.
You
With
heard
an
it
open
here.
mind. With an open
With
mind.
an open mind?
Yes, because I was 10 when I originally read it.
Okay.
I'm
You're gonna
almost
annotate it?
38, and then yes, I will.
Okay.
If you do the same and give it another go.
Give me the book.
You have it. You donated it, didn't you?
Yep. Oh, didn't I? Or do I still have it? I think I donated it. I think. Or did I give you that one?
This is mine.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to check my shelves. If I don't have it, I'll have to borrow yours because I do think I donated it. Mm-hmm.
This is what happens when you act rash.
I was rash.
You were?
Okay. I'll give it another try.
Okay.
You're making me wonder. No.
Wait, do we even have Emma now that I've made this decision? Do we? We don't.
We can get them. If we don't have it. We can
Okay.
get
Well, I need it anyway because if I'm gonna get the Jane Austen with the quote things, I might as well get Emma.
Well, I'll get Emma and let you borrow. Oh, but you can't annotate it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get me my own.
Okay.
But it'll be good to have. It'll be with the collection. It's good to have all of them, right? Right. Go ahead.
So, again, I'm not ranking them in order, but basically, I guess this is number 10. And this is a murder mystery. It is Magpie Murders. And this video is trash. I can't even get through a book.
Sorry.
No. So I wouldn't I have a couple of cozy mysteries. This is not a cozy mystery, I would say.
I'd say it's half and half.
You think so?
Well, when you're reading about Pund, yes. That is a very cozy, small town.
Yeah, it's sort of like almost on the idea of Perot, right? On
yeah.
that idea, but
Well, he's kind of two people. He's on the idea of Perot and the one. Remember the last book we read for the book club, The Doctor.
Yep.
He's a combination of
Okay.
both, which are characters I liked. So and I liked him.
So the thing I loved about this book, and we'll talk about Felicia in a minute yet again, is
oh my god,
this is a book within a book. And it's about a writer who is writing a book but gets murdered.
yes.
And so,
Well, no, it doesn't. It start off that he
excuse me, I'm sorry, my nose.
committed suicide. It wasn't outright said a murder.
Right. Yes. And so it is all about finding out what happened to the author. And there's also a mystery in terms of the inheritance too, I think, right? Was it
On
the
who's
inheritance
getting it,
of
yeah.
who's getting the money and things like that,
yeah.
as well as the writing,
Mhm.
I believe, if I can remember
They were
correctly.
looking for the last
the
book, right?
Yeah, or the chapters or
Mhm.
something like that. But anyway,
It's
so
been a minute. Sorry.
yes, and so it's a book within a book. I absolutely loved it. I actually even tabbed it.
Did you write it?
That's what I'm gonna check. I think I just tried tabbing in it. I don't think I wrote in it because I was still too nervous.
Oh, okay.
No, but I tabbed.
Oh, you have a dark green tag? Where'd you get
And
the dark green?
but I tabbed but didn't write why I tabbed, so I'd have to read the little blurb because again I was nervous about writing in it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm nervous too, but I'm willing to give it a go.
I guess this. So why is it that we have such a need for a murder mystery, and what is it that attracts us, the crime or the solution? So I tabbed that. I really liked that saying in here.
I think for me it's both. I know that's so messed up to say, but it's both.
Yeah, but I think the solution, because I always try to reach the solution, you know, and
try to
figure it
solve
out.
it.
Yeah. So, but this book
I don't.
Was
Can we not
Felicia's-
bring this up?
was
Can we not?
Felicia's undoing.
We're really bringing this up. Okay.
Because was it the first like half of the book you thought what you thought? I can't even remember. But we sat down, because we do that even when it wasn't a book buddy read. We sat down and we sit down and talk about books over tea, and she
Do not
was
do this.
beside herself and was saying, I'm very sorry that the author died, but I don't want to read his book. It's like an autobiography or something. I'm like, what is she talking about? And she goes, the author, you know, and I forget what his name was. What was his name?
Yeah.
But I said, Felicia, look at the cover. And she goes, who's Anthony Horowitz?
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that might have happened. Yes, that
I
happened.
said, he's
But
the author of the book. So just for that alone, I love this book, but it really is a good book, and I would highly recommend it. So
and maybe I need to reread that one too. I technically donated the hardcover because I seen this in paperback,
I want it. Well, see here,
and
yeah,
it looks so much better.
I like paperback.
It's the same cover, but I mean,
Yeah.
better.
Paperback, yeah, yeah.
I want to get my Harry Potters and
And-
my Twilight in
And
paperback.
maybe I would reread it in paperback and
Annotate.
annotate it, because after I annotated Northanger Abbey, I do enjoy annotating.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's my number 10.
Watching you do that though was
It's
hard.
scary.
It was
It was scary
It was
to do.
hard because I was like, oh my god, she's writing it. Oh my god, she's tabbing it. Oh my god.
I
Trying to
did it
concentrate
when
on
I was feeling it when I did it, but then after a little bit, I was like, "Oh, this is really good." And then in a year or two, I'll go back and reread it and see,
What you wrote.
do I feel the same way? Did I miss something? All of that. So, anyway, let's move on to your next book.
My number 9, The Mansfield Park Murders. I loved this book. Minus who got murdered. I was not okay with that. However, other than that, I love this book. I love the detective, and he actually has more that I actually want to get. Where does it say that?
Was that your number 9?
My number 9. What's yours?
Well, guess what?
No, sir.
My
Yours is
number
number 9.
Number 9.
Awesome.
Although, like I said, I'm not really counting them by number wise, but just that I have 10 books that I love. Now, this is a mystery too, and I have notes on this one. Actually, let me get the notes.
Yeah, I'm trying to he has more of the Charles Maddox, but why can't I see it? That's gonna drive me insane.
Okay, so I have notes, but so who are you looking for?
I'm trying to look for his other books
Oh,
because I really want to read more of him. I like
yeah,
Charles
but
Maddox.
you need to talk about what
No,
this
I
book is
know.
about first.
It's about which I don't like this part. Fanny Price is found murdered in Mansfield Park. She was a rich heiress who was spoiled and condescending and generally hated, but her death is none less haunting. Did not like that. That's the only thing I didn't like. Other than that, I love Mary Crawford. I love Charles Maddox. I loved the whole trying to solve it and who did it. And the one person I did not expect who actually killed Fanny. Just because Charles Maddox said this person is strong, this person is vindictive, this person, killer instincts, cleaned up well. It's going to be a challenge to find this person. I'm going to find this person. And who I thought it wasn't it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got it. I got this. No.
I really liked that
And I absolutely loved this.
There was two things I loved about this. It was putting the characters in different positions, in different environments, in different upbringings. So Fanny was now, upper class, spoiled, all of that. You kind of might not have liked her in this book.
I kind of wish I annotated this because I got this. Do you know who they put Fanny as Mariah? And just slapped Fanny's name on there. She's Mariah, basically.
Mariah.
The cousin in Mansfield Park. The original Mansfield Park.
Yeah, she could be, yeah.
That's literally what Mariah was.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think that, it's a good topic for the haves and have-nots.
Mm-hmm.
It is seeing how opportunity, privilege can change your personality, your being. But it was also an original story, which I like. I think the mystery was really good, trying to figure out who was, and I also love the detective, Charles Maddox.
God, I love him.
He was thorough. He was interesting. It was a really well done.
He was really good to Mary.
Yes, he was really good to Mary. He was.
And she was smart until the end. I'm never gonna let it go.
No, I know you're having a hard time, but remember, he's in other books.
I know.
So you might feel the same way in the other books. I don't know, but he, yeah.
Like, I'm definitely gonna reread this. I might even annotate this. So I'm just adding more to myself.
So you want to annotate this too? Yeah, we could have an annotating party.
Oh, we could.
Yeah, we could, right?
I'm gonna need a lot more tabs.
So yes, so this was really good.
Yes, I recommend this to anybody.
Mary was smart.
If you should read the original first, then read this.
Yeah.
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 If you don't know anything about Fanny Price or Mansfield Park, read the original, then read this. I recommend both. Without a doubt.
Yep. Mary made a good investigator herself.
Mm-hmm.
And
did.
I think Charles Maddox appreciated that, even though it's a time where women
really didn't.
Their place was in the home, I guess. That usual kind of thing.
Being married off. And...
Yeah. So, but she made a really good investigator, and Charles Maddox kind of allowed it. I don't think he would have continued allowing it, but he did allow it.
They would have been a team.
She wanted them together.
I'm devastated. Like, I think I threw this across the room.
Oh my God. But you still love it.
I do love it. Until the end. I love it until the end.
Sometimes people aren't meant to be together.
No. It's just she was stupid.
Okay. All right.
And she went to the other one.
Okay. So, that was both of us. So if you want to go to the next one, you can.
I had my bucket all the way over there. She kicked it, didn't she?
She probably did.
Freya! Oh, that cat. Alright, what is on my next list? I wrote an orange. I shouldn't have wrote an orange.
You need glasses?
I wish. I want glasses so bad. My number 8 is Jane Steele.
Another good one.
Another good one. I love this one. I think I love this one just because I did love Jane Eyre. And I love that she carries Jane Eyre with her.
Yes.
Oh, no, I love this.
And that was a tough one for me because it was either the Mansfield Park or Jane Eyre in my number, and it was really hard to choose.
Yeah, this was a hard one
Really
to number.
hard to choose.
Because they were both so good. Like, I want to reread this and annotate this. See, this is a problem. But I did enjoy this. I really, really did.
Yeah, on my copy I have a couple of tabs, but I again sort
Did
of
you write
like
in it?
sort of like Magpie Murders. I tabbed, but I didn't write in it. No, it wasn't there yet. So
I recommend that. This is another 5-star. I bet they're all 5 stars. I don't think I have a one that's less.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of boring for people that watch this.
I'm not even saying I have stars on mine.
Oh,
I
you
just-
haven't rated yours?
I did it originally, but
Oh.
I didn't for this video. I just because they're just
Well,
my
they're getting
top
both
10.
of mine. They're my top 10 and 5 stars.
Are they all 5 stars?
I believe they are. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
pretty much.
awesome.
Yeah. They're
That's
all 5
awesome.
stars.
So, what is this one about?
Oh.
It's a murder mystery.
It's a murder mystery, but how can I say this? First of all, murder is not okay. However, this is where it gets tricky because the men she murders, they're really, really bad.
Mhm.
And they do horrible, horrible things to women.
Yeah.
That I don't, like I said, murder is not okay. However, in that time, I don't think they would have believed her if she went to get help because she was a woman.
Well, and with her circumstances and,
And
what
she
was happening.
she was an orphan. She didn't have money, so less likely to get helped. I don't think she really had a choice. I don't know. It's a tough. I mean, I don't know the right answer to that.
I loved the investigator in this too. What was his name? Goodfellow. Yeah, I really liked him as well. He was smarter than what you thought as you were reading.
I believe that's what it was. Goodfellow.
And he knew more than what he said. I believe.
I don't know if he knew she did it. But
I think he did.
I don't think he knew she was a
excuse me.
killer. I think she knew the cousin, what was going on. I think he figured out later because she was disheveled. But it was because of what he was trying to do.
Right.
And he didn't, because she ran away, he didn't get to confront her until he saw her again.
Yeah.
And he apologizes to her. Like, I stopped when he figured out I should have realized.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. And him apologizing to her and begging for forgiveness, I sobbed.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh, I love him. There should be more of him.
I know.
She
I
should-
know. You'd have to look her up. I haven't checked that author out again.
No.
To
but-
see if she's written any more
With him?
like that. Yeah. Because that's a good one too.
Yeah, I really like him.
So, okay.
What's yours?
So we're gonna go into cozies now.
Oh, you're going in cozies.
And well, I would call these next 3 cozy mysteries. So Finley Donovan is killing it. This is a popular book, but I just really enjoyed it, and it was humorous. And so this is about a mom who's divorced,
Mm-hmm.
and she has, I think she has 1 or 2 children. But she's an author, and she goes to Panera Bread to meet with her editor or publisher. I think it's her publisher, and she's talking about her book, and it's about a murder.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a woman sitting beside, like, across, and she doesn't hear the publishing details part. She hears about the murder part. So she drops a note in Finley's bag wanting to hire her because she thinks she's a hit woman to kill her husband. It just goes off from there.
Wow.
And it's funny. It's a mystery, and the nanny, she basically becomes the nanny, and her best friend is hysterical. I just, it is fast paced. It's witty. It's, yeah. I really enjoyed this. So this was in my top 10. I think you would enjoy this book too. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, I should have tabbed this too, and kind of like the funny little
stuff.
bits. Yeah, but that's okay. So, yes, Finley Donovan is killing it. Highly recommend it. It is a series, and of course, I have not read the next book yet. And actually, I think there's 3 or 4 out. So I'm being.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But of course, this is what happens.
Yeah, it does. My next one is number 7. The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I really enjoyed this. This is actually a true story. This was an awesome read. This was amazing. I recommend this highly. There's 3 books and a couple of novellas out. And I'm
The
missing
3
one of
books,
them.
are they different stories, or is it a continuation?
Continuation.
It's a continuation? Oh, okay. I thought it ended with
It's
the results.
you get the result to this one.
That's what I'm saying.
At the
So
end,
then
and
the
then-
other one's a different one.
Different one, but the 2 main people are in it.
Right. But the mystery or the murder is different.
I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't read those yet.
Oh, okay.
I want to do rereads and annotate these. I'm going to annotate all my books apparently.
Oh boy, everything's going to be written in.
Yeah. Yeah. This one's good.
So what is that about?
It's about the murder of Andy Bell, supposedly by her boyfriend,
Oh, okay.
Sal Singh, who then kills himself. And Pip decides to do her senior paper of re-examining her case to try to prove that Sal is innocent.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So, and this is based on a true story. And this was such a good read. Such a good read. I highly recommend this series, and you were going to need a box of tissues reading this because it is really tragic. It's really sad. For one of the victims, anyway. One of the victims, no comment. But other than that, great series. And I highly recommend it. I would reread this. Definitely going to read it again.
Awesome. Okay, so my next one is another mystery. It is The Secret Book in Scone Society by Ellery Adams. This book is really good. It's about a woman who I don't know, she gets divorced, and she catches her husband, I think, cheating, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. And she gets into an accident driving, and the car, I think, catches fire. Whatever happens with fire, she ends up getting her face burnt, which unfortunately does some major scarring. And people look at her differently and all of that. So she decides to move to a little rural kind of village, and she ends up, which I think is the coolest thing, and I want it. She ends up buying a caboose, and like the train depot where you buy your tickets or whatever. And so she makes the caboose her home, and the station a little bookstore. But of course it doesn't stay quiet, and there's a murder in there, and she, along with a group of different women who decided to come and do a book club, decide to investigate and solve the murder. It's a really good book. I highly recommend it. The doctor in this, he is fabulous. Yeah, I just highly recommend it. I haven't, again, this is another series one, and I've only read the first one, and there are more to this series. So it's really good. And oh, the town is Miracle Springs, it's called, I believe. And Nora is the heroine. And I really like her. She is self-conscious of her face and having people look at her. She tries to, like, there's a scene where she decides to wear high heels. Her friends tell her to wear high heels, dress up, they're gonna go out to dinner or whatever, and I forget what happens, but she slips and she falls, and she hurts her ankle, but she just wants to get up and get out of there because people will look at her face or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's a really good book. I like all the characters in there.
My next one is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I love this book so much. It so brilliantly written. Oh my god. But I not cried through the whole thing. However, I loved these characters and what they had to do to survive the environment they were in.
Yeah.
That led them to where they are now. Like, this book is amazing. I recommend this book so bad. I want to reread this and annotate it because there is a sequel.
So what happens?
Pretty much
There is a murder, correct? Is there a recent murder, or is it like the past?
It's the past.
It's the past.
There is a recent murder, but that was self-defense, in my opinion.
Okay.
Completely self-defense. However, there's 3 bodies. Technically,
Okay, there's a roundup.
there's 3, but technically there's an extra one. But it wasn't.
Gotta have extra, just in case you lose one.
It wasn't intended to be a murder. It was a plan to, I think, have them pass out so they could escape.
Oh, okay.
But whatever formula they were using, they used too much. However, what they went through in the years of all living together, because one of the guys that ended up living with them, like, he dictated everybody. He was in charge. They didn't get to keep shoes.
So it's
So
kind of like
they
a
were kind
cult, maybe?
He definitely, yes.
Yeah.
And he had a wife who left, but didn't take the kids, which was a whole other thing. Yeah. And then he ends up with this young girl who was a singer or part of a band, and she's just as bad as him. It ends up being this whole cult thing, and they end up trapped in this house. And it's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And what they had to do to survive. I mean, I literally snot cried through this whole thing. But I loved it.
Good.
It was so good. I highly recommend this, and I cannot wait to read the sequel.
You have the sequel, right?
I do. Of course I got a few of Lisa Jewell's. I think I'm addicted to Lisa Jewell now.
Well, that's a good
because
thing.
of this.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Joe, can you just check the food? See if it's warm now? Okay, so this is my last cozy. This is my last mystery, I believe. Yeah. And that is, I absolutely loved this book. I know I'm going to love this series. This is A Quiet Life in the Country, a Lady Hardcastle mystery. So this is about Lady Hardcastle and her maid. It definitely is a class distinction. However, it appears from what I read of this, I believe they were both spies together. And then they decide to retire to this quiet little country home because Lady Hardcastle's husband passes away. But they go to this little town. they decide that they're going to just live quietly in this little house and they're friends and all of that. But of course, murder ensues, and they decide, Lady Hardcastle decides that the cop or the sheriff, the constable, whatever he's called, I can't remember, doesn't really know what he's doing in her eyes. So she's going to investigate along with the maid. And it's just it's cozy. I want to investigate with them. I want to live with them. I want to investigate with them. I like the little charming village and the characters, and yes, highly recommend it. I mean, and it's a little humorous where during the investigation, Lady Hardcastle has to interview people, and she sends the maid to get this gentleman, and this gentleman, I can't remember if he says something kind of flippant to her or whatever it is, but the next thing you know, the maid's taking him out. Like, she's taking him down, and then she brings him in, and he sits down quietly, and Lady Hardcastle asks her, is everything okay? Was there a problem? And she's like, everything's fine. Like, because she took care of it with her martial arts. Like, so really good. Highly recommend this series. Oops, there goes my books.
My next one is the Percy Jackson series. I'm on the 5th one, rereading it again. I love the series. I love Greek gods. I love Percy. I love all of this. And them trying to stop Luke and Kronos from attacking Olympus. And this whole journey they've been on. This is such an amazing book series. I recommend it. This is like my 3rd time rereading it. And I'm actually going to reread it again to annotate.
Oh my God. I think you're annotate happy now.
I think so. I think I'm raring to go with these. But I don't want to lose my bookmark, so I'm still reading it. I'll put it right there.
Okay, so my last 3 are romance, and so this one is Time Reaping and Deadwood. This is romance and paranormal. I have talked about this in a previous video. So the author is Anne Charles, and this is basically Violet Parker, who is a single mom of twins who struggles as a real estate agent, but ends up living with her aunt, and come to find out that she is in fact a Scharfrichter, which is basically German for executioner. And so each book is things that she has to hunt down. There's all different kind of creatures, and in this book she's trying to hunt down an imp. He's kind of ugly looking on this. I thought an imp would be cute, but anyway, the characters in here, the side characters are amazing. Love them all. My favorite is Harvey. He is the older man in the group, and if you want to laugh, these are the books. Like, I would annotate these books just to annotate everything Harvey says. Everything he says makes me laugh. So if you like paranormal, with different kind of creatures and demons, and they have to go into a lot of spooky places. In this one, they go into a closed down old school.
Yep.
Where it's dark, no electricity. There's holes in the ground and there's like, it's just, this is a good time.
Good time.
Good time.
So are we saving 3 and 4 for last?
You could do them now if you want.
Okay, so my number 4 is Frankenstein.
I have the same.
Yep, I absolutely love this book. I adore it. I love it for many reasons. I love it because it was written on a day, 2 days.
It was by an 18-year-old, right?
Yep, she was 18, 19. Yeah, I love that. And I love that the real monster is the doctor.
Correct.
Not the actual creation.
No, and
He's really misunderstood.
I love that, this also is a book about fear.
Mm-hmm.
It has morals in here.
Yep.
It's fear of death.
It is fear of death.
And yeah, I love this. I did take notes on this too, I believe. When did we read Frankenstein?
I forget. You want some more tea?
Frankenstein. We will after.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a curiosity of that life, death, immortality.
Yep.
If you're struggling with someone's death, Frankenstein's goal was I don't think he wanted to deal with that.
No.
With death. And so he was trying to recreate life.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going down a
A
road
road.
he shouldn't go down, I guess. But I love this quote. No man chooses evil because it is evil. He only mistakes it for happiness. The good he speaks. Beware. And then the other one is beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful.
Yep.
I love that. So, yeah. Frankenstein's a great classic. And the next one?
My number 3, Northanger Abbey.
Northanger Abbey. Mine is annotated.
I know it is. I have to reread to do that.
You can see, but it is annotated, and it is written in. I really enjoyed that. So on this one, I had written, being paraded around for a man to compliment you so you feel better about yourself. And then I just added, because that's what, what's her name? Oh my God. What is her name?
Who? Which one?
The one that ends up with, who's supposed to be with the brother.
Oh, Isabel?
Isabel.
Ugh.
So that's basically, that's basically Catherine wanting to feel better. When we talked about Isabel,
Mm-hmm.
Catherine didn't feel good until she got a compliment. When she was being paraded around rather than being comfortable with herself. And so I wrote, many girls, women feel this way. In fact, many feel this way in general, wanting someone to compliment them at events, to feel better about themselves. Why do so many of us still do this? No one but ourselves can determine our self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed annotating this. Northanger Abbey in general is a favorite along with Frankenstein. I should annotate Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
really
I love this.
enjoyed this. And
I love Catherine. I love Henry Tinley.
yes, and this is a book about a girl who loves books.
Mm-hmm. Which makes her even better.
And she falls in love with a gentleman whose family lives in a castle, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman's mom had died, and the father is not a nice man at all.
No.
So Catherine, seeing this castle and staying in this castle, she has an imagination, and her imagination
Goes wild.
Goes off the rails, so to speak. And so, yeah, it's also about a class issue as well. The haves and have-nots, as usual. It's also about gender, women.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just, I love it. I love it. It's one of my tops. Ooh. There it goes.
She's breaking things.
I'm breaking things. Okay. Down to the last two.
My number 2 is Throne of Glass. I love Throne of Glass.
Who's the author of that?
Sarah J. Maas.
Oh, yes.
You haven't even read her stuff.
No. You know what I think it's? You know what I think? First of all, it's a fantasy, right? Is it a fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to not be huge on
And
fantasy.
she's-
I don't know why.
lower class, but was trained to be an assassin.
Okay.
And she gets summoned to a castle to stop people from killing the king. Like, she comes to the castle to be part of this thing to stop killers from trying to, and thieves and warriors. She ends up in this competition, and it's really, really good.
Okay.
Such a good series. I love this series. I'm actually going to reread this.
Okay. Have you read the whole series?
I've read the first 3 because that's all I have.
Okay.
But I want these. I want the box set. And with these covers, because I've seen the newer covers, not a fan.
No?
The new covers, no.
No.
But these ones, oh my God.
Okay.
Like, I highly recommend this. I can't wait to read the Throne of Court series, Isa, she has.
Oh, I don't know.
It's another one. Oh my God. Sarah J. Maas is incredible.
Okay.
Love her.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's well known.
Yes, she is. Very popular. So you can't judge. You haven't read anything.
I'm not judging it. I'm just saying I'm not a huge fantasy reader. That's probably why. It's got nothing to do with thinking it's bad. It's just I'm not, for some reason it doesn't attract me.
Yeah.
When you read covers.
Well, the
Covers and the back usually, is what sells me
you.
to a book. And oftentimes when it's a fantasy kind of back reading, I don't know, it tends to not
do it.
But my next one is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I have a hard time saying Penelope. And this is the Devil Knight series. And this is the first book. I did read all 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So this is about 4 teenage boys who have what they call Devil's Knights. They're sports jocks, whatever you want to call them. And one night a year they call Devil's Night, and they each have a mask. They're all skeletons, and each one has a different color on them. And they go out and they cause problems. Not so much major problems, but unfortunately, in this particular night, it does become a major problem because several things happen. They do attack someone, and they do it. They attack a couple of them attack a police officer. Now, normally what happens on Devil's Night is they film what they do. And unfortunately, it does get filmed, and someone releases it. And so they end up going to jail. They think it's this girl who did it, who turned them in. And so when they get out of jail, there's 3 that go to jail, 1 that doesn't. And so he goes along with them and teams up to exact revenge on the girl for putting them in jail. And she did not do it, but they don't know that. And so they go about, they basically take everything out of her bank account. So she has no money. They, because they're older and they do all this stuff. And she had gone off to college, so now she's on her own. And so now they know they can go after her and create havoc. And each book is about a different one of the teenagers. They're adults now. So it's each their story. But the whole 4 books tie into this one incident. So you don't really know what really happened until you read all 4 books. But so it's really good. Really good. It's a favorite series of mine.
My number 1 is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
It will always be your number 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, I am so jealous because I
Dorothy don't die? Dorothy Must Die isn't your number 1?
No.
That's not right.
She's hating. So, anyway, I love this book. I love the book series. Actually, I'm a little jealous because How to Train Your Gavin has the box set Wizard of Oz series that I want so bad. So I'm a little jealous.
Did he
Love
read?
him.
Did he read them all?
Read them all,
Oh,
showed the
okay.
covers,
Did he like it?
loved it.
Okay.
He
just
even did a
checking.
tribute to Miss Billy Burke and Miss Judy Garland in the beginning of the film.
Oh, okay.
Dresses up as them and does this whole thing. It's beautiful. And does the background and the cat Toto thing. It was wonderful. Gavin, you're my dude. Love you. Love this. I love this.
Oh, so maybe we can link that
And this
in the description below.
Yeah.
Gavin's.
How to Train Your Gavin's his Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
tribute. Yeah.
So if people want to see that,
It's really good.
Um,
He even does a Hobbit and a Lord of the Rings for those who are a fan of those two. And he stays in one of the Hobbit. Great video. Worth watching.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll link that, the Wizard of Oz one,
Okay. Sorry.
down below, and then you can always access the
Yeah.
rest of
Because
them.
this is so good.
So-
It's so different than the movie because the movie, as good as it is, and it is for kids, this is such a darker series, but it's such a good series. Like, I love this series. And I wish I had them all. Especially in the one that Gavin has.
So that was your last.
That was my last. That was
So
it.
my last is my Gianna Darling. This is a series too. This is the MC Fallen Men series. And this one is Caution to the Wind. And I think this is book 6 or 7. And this is a chunker. But I read it in 2 days. I think it was 2 days I read it in. It is, how many pages? I don't know. It's about 600, maybe 612 pages. Yeah, and I read it in 2 days. My grandson's looking at me like I'm crazy. I read it in 2 days. It was so good.
Oh, it's smaller. Deathly Hollows was 900 and something. And we
Yeah.
read that in 2 days.
Yeah.
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 So that's nothing.
So this is a romance but mystery. There is murder right off the bat
Oh.
in this book, and of course you don't know who the murderer is.
Mm-hmm.
And actually it's more than one. It's the woman is murdered by several people with swords. Yeah,
Okay.
but you don't know who
Initiated everything.
initiated it or where they come from or anything like that. And so it's about a woman who gets murdered and her child is left with the father and her best friend, but her best friend tried to save the mother and she was only about 9 or 10. And she ends up getting beaten and, you know, hurt and have to be rushed to the hospital. So it's about that becoming a family and growing up and figuring out who the killer was, why the mother was killed,
Yeah.
and families made families, not blood related, made families that come together and also break up, why they break up, how they break up, and then coming back together when they need each other and forgiveness and all of that. So highly recommend it. Yeah, it was a great story, action all the way through. Really enjoyed it. So that was my number 10. And so that was the 10 best books of 2023. And so we will do another video of our TBR, our potential TBR, I should say, for February. And go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're all safe and I hope you're all loved, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.